They know they would never be where they are today if it wasn't for the show.
Why wasn't Dance Moms alum Abby Lee Miller invited to the recent reunion? Her answer may surprise you. While many of her Abby Lee Dance Company students, including JoJo Siwa, Chloé Lukasiak, and Kalani Hilliker, recently came together for Lifetime's Dance Moms The Reunion, their former teacher says she wasn't invited back. And during a recent chat with Bethany Frankel on her Just Be podcast, Abby Lee says,
"What's the problem? What's the conflict with you and them? As adults now, because they were kids then."
Kids can't face me because they know they would never be where they are today if it wasn't for the show.
E! News has reached out to Lifetime on the reason for not issuing an invite, but has not heard back. The 58-year-old also says the show, which aired on Lifetime from 2011 to 2019, damaged her relationship with several former students, specifically her past bond with Brooke and Paige Hyland, which fell apart after Abby had a huge fight with their mother, Kelly Hyland.
There's two little girls named Brooke and Paige Hyland, who I was very close to. Their mother was in my original competition team when I was 14 years old. And she stayed at my studio. Then she left, got married, had kids, brought them to my studio at 2 years old, and stayed until the show started. So my point is, if this was so toxic for all these kids, why did they come back at 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8?
Despite the drama that played out on the show, Abby emphasized that it wasn't all bad for her girls.
Let me say that there's a lot of kids in Pittsburgh that would have never gotten out of Pittsburgh.
Fair.
If it wasn't for
fair
me.
point. I'm just saying my daughter.
And there were good times, and it was fun, and they loved what they were doing.
But for its young cast, amid the tears and tension on the dance floor, the experience created bonds for life. Ahead of the reunion, the group told E! News in an interview,
I don't think people know that we're friends, and there's so many different storylines on the show between our mothers that people just tend to think that we all hate each other all the time. Or
you don't hate me?
No, I don't. Thank God. But you know that we pick sides with different people.
She didn't respond to that.
Super close.
We all can relate in a way.
It's a trauma bond.
It really is a trauma bond, whether that be a good trauma or a bad trauma. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a negative thing, but there's just such like a what's the word, like familiarity?
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.